The infamous murderer, Jack the Ripper, has been named as a Welsh doctor who later went mad and committed suicide. The people in the village of Aberffraw on Anglesey claim to know the bloodthirsty friend's real identity. The identity of Britain's notorious killer has been the most debated in criminal history ever since the first murder more than 100 years ago. A recent claim had it that Liverpool cotton trader James Maylorick was the killer following the publication and diaries considered forgeries signed by Jack the Ripper. After more than a century, residents have kept a dark secret quiet, passing the name and story and from generation to generation. The programme on SLC Hell's Straeon named the Dr. William Evans Thomas as the Ripper. Dr. Thomas was the son of a local chemist and a pillar to the community, Henry Parry Thomas. Mr. Thomas Sr. was a complimentary wealthy man by Victorian Anglesey poor standards. He lived in the largest house called Bryn Golau, which was not only a chemist but also a dentist, doctor and even a postmaster. His son William was ambitious and left the sleepy shores of Anglesey for a bright light of London in the 1880s. Living in Spattersfield near a Whitechapel, the scene of the murders, little is known of this time in London, but according to the old folk of Aberffraw, Mr. Thomas horribly returned to the village immediately after each murder. People were absolutely convinced he was the Ripper, said Owen John Hughes, an agricultural store manager who was brought up in the village and was told the story as a child by one of the village elders. It was said the Ripper rushed back to Anglesey because the police were chasing him and wanted to arrest him for the crimes. It seems that Dr. Thomas's family knew something was amiss. Every time he came home after the murder, he waited until things cooled down. After the final murder, Dr. Thomas came home in a terrible distressed state, and as his family was afraid he would kill himself, they watched him like a hawk. He slipped out one day and took some poison. Mr. Thomas swallowed almost a whole content of the bottle of prussic acid and died a quick but painful death. It was said to be enough to kill 8 horses. After Mr. Thomas's death, a Whitechapel murder ceased, but the story does not end there. Some years later, after Bryn Golau has changed hands and residents was going up the stairs when a ghostly apparition appeared. Was it a ghost of Jack the Ripper? Everyone asked themselves. Such was the concern of the village. Its dark secrets would get out, that the vicar from another town was brought in to conduct the funeral. Dr. Thomas was laid to rest in the unmarked grave and unconsecrated ground at the local cemetery on June the 15th, 1889. According to the records in Llangefni Archive Office, the doctor died aged 33 from suicide, temporarily insanity. The family never got over the death and soon left the village for Llangefni and then moved on to Penmaen Mawr. The story has survived through the generations because of the close-knit nature of Aberffraw community. There was not even a main road to the village until 1926. Until then, people had to cross the dunes to get out of the village. The story told by local merged words for a report of a local newspaper of the time going back more than a century. The children of Aberffraw were even told, "Be good, or Jack the Ripper will get you."